A lovely good evening to you all today, the 9th of September 2023. To present Camnet Television main news, my name is Jeffrey Ziambo. Social cash transfer beneficiaries in CHAWAMA compound go unpaid for 4 months. Council of Churches in Zambia challenges government to review the monthly fuel price adjustments. President HICHILEMA promises to address the escalated MEALIE-MEAL prices. In international news, Uganda says its operations in DR Congo have killed 567 IS-allied fighters. And in sports news, CHIPOLOPOLO arrives in Moroni ahead of Saturday Group H Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against COMOROS.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Hello once again, another news in detail. A 36-year-old man of Lusaka's Mtendere East is nursing a dog bite wound after he was bitten by a dog at his former employer's house. Fungulani Piri says his employer, Walia Mulenga, has refused to pay for his medical bills and now risks having his hand amputated if not treated soon. Piri says he has reported the matter to relevant authorities and that Walia has failed to appear before the Ministry of Labour and Workers' Compensation despite being summoned. More in this report.
His hand is at the verge of amputation after being bitten by his employer's dog. This is Fungulani Piri of Lusaka's Mtendere East, who is nursing dog bite wounds after being bitten by a dog. Despite being injured in the course of his duty, Fungulani has not gotten money for treatment from his boss, who claims that his dogs are vaccinated and have got papers. He narrates what transpired on the fateful day.
So palimbwa ziwili za nesi zimverana ya nzikazi zekazeka. Ije nango nina bayaona ati moja mkarumu mwankala mwaitenje ya pesa chansu ti menyana na nzake ija nimba nina chokela ija yamba kumenyana na nzake and nae sa itenje kuyeselela imba inakana utirekelelani antu inango mzanga naisa kugwira ija inango ndepa nina baya lekela but stimos na lekelelani atezalika kumenyana yayi. So until ija inango inabwa nagwira mu mkosi ndepa ninabona kwanja yanga yonse kwanja inangena mkamwa ndepa ninabwa niruma kutencho kwambira uko until ababulikira uko. So after that banabwa tencho banabula bamedwa ndokumuza mkati mwine wakatata uyu mungaye simba ya mulu mapanja hapa ndipo nanachokera babosi wakana nomboni kalipira tu ayo ngalikire maimbo yangambe kumenyana.
Shortly after the unfortunate happened, Fungulani lost his job as he can no longer work due to his injury. He tells this reporter that he has been trekking to different authorities to seek for justice, but to no avail.
Naiswenda pa chani papareba wanaisa kumuitana sabwera. Naisa kwenda pawekazi wanaisa utuwa muitani sabwera yai.
Fungulani needs about 1,500 kwacha to have his hand treated or risks being amputated.
Timu manyereti yali 6. Noti nyereti mozi yai. Muza funika manyereti yali 6 yonse. Nina muza but stimu anashita insist anakana soja but no. Singa chose malitenchi matema ya mabottle 6 because ni maimbo yanga la manyereti. Because nakulangizo dada mapapers uti maimbo yanga yana mapapers. Until panapita 3 days nabana mutumira futi natino kwanja si chinja hii. So until ndiye mwana nanse ningira 300 atino in year last because nakuzo dauti maimbo yanga yana mapapers. So my yone problem kwanje peso tie ndai ora hii. Yesterday nze pa Chirenje hospital ananuza tino
Meanwhile,
the mother to the victim, Rosemary Banda, is calling on authorities to take interest in the matter.
Azadi achani kunyumba kwa minali
kulibe vakudya sasebenza nakusebenza azasebenza bwanji naine nigulisa palodi hapo tunshava na tututi nezavakwanisa bwanji kwadyesera vana iwola kwanja sazasebenza ntchito iliyonse papali nipe mphako aliko na ndrama azinthandizirako ku vana chabe vana vake azienda ku sukulu ero apa pali azambo nkhala mu nyumba ya lendi manje azainkhala bwanji nyumba ya lendi.
Efforts to get the other side of the story from Waga, former Fungulani's boss, was unsuccessful as his phone went unanswered. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
Some social cash transfer beneficiaries in Lusaka's CHAWAMA compound have gone for 4 months without receiving payments under the program. Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, one of the aggrieved recipients, Anegi Nalwembe, says she has not received payment for June and August, with officers prioritizing those who were paid previously. Another beneficiary, Esther Piri, has called on the government to revert to physical handouts, citing complications with mobile money disbursements in that money has continued to go missing. More in the following report.
They are going home empty-handed after an attempt to collect the social cash transfer disbursement for the second time has failed. These are some of the social cash transfer beneficiaries in Lusaka's CHAWAMA who claim to have not received money for June and August amounting to 800 kwacha, despite assurances from officers at Lusaka District Social Welfare Office. Some of the aggrieved beneficiaries, Eva Mlembezi and Anne Ginalwambe, tells Camnet News life is unbearable without the fund, as it helps them sustain their lives, but wonders how they continue to be left out on the program.
Social cash transfer June tinatenge ino ni September bayamba futi ma payment yenangu bapasa bamozi na bamozi manje nishi masevenzedo yao basevenza bwanji ndaba ngati nkusevenza benzofunika first bashita clear bajanesi banatenge ndipo boyamba futi ma payment yabe nangu nilili pano sinisebenza yamine ndrama yenzo nitandiza nagula unga nagula tumalasha na mwini wake nitandiziwa manje nidabwa na pali lero na manje ndrama kulibi wanakamba ati ndani ku social fair tinaenda kuja tinafika wanakamba ati lembesani mazina yenangu tinalembesa mukaziyembekeza chabe mafoni kuti yazabwera na manje siyabwera na mulilero futi ino yabwera futi taendao kuchimwemwe futi ati ayikaziyembekezani chabe mati zayembekeza madezi yangati.
For others, despite being told money was deposited in their mobile money account, it is nowhere to be found and are calling on government to revert to physical handouts as they are losing out on the much needed help.
Yabwera phone chite message bwera kuti ndarama mulibe bachosi
mena chosa
ndani achosa kuti kaya manje tizaziwa bwanji so tifuna kuti ise ampofu atitipasa kumanja basi kwasi aba mafoni azitenga mafoni ndio
tifunika zibwerere matebo isamene siziwoberenga ndama bati zikafika cha bati ya kulibe zaenda manje zaenda kuti ndena tenga ero ndise bantu olemala funika tandizo kuti bazititandiza batitandizire ichi cheve chitiwa maningi chamene bachita.
When contacted for a comment, Lusaka District Social Welfare Office directed this reporter to get permission from the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Community Development and Social Services before they can comment on the matter. For Camnet News, Afias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The Council of Churches in Zambia, CCZ, has called on the government to replace monthly fuel price reviews with a longer-term review to curtail the continued escalation of prices of various commodities. CCZ General Secretary Emmanuel Chikoya says longer-term fuel price reviews will help the business community plan and manage prices as opposed to monthly reviews, which makes planning very awkward. Father Chikoya says government should realize that it is difficult to reduce prices of goods as business entities usually maintain the same prices despite reduction of fuel and electricity, hence the need to act now.
Continued increase in the cost of living, which is being felt by all, but particularly the very poor people in Zambia. The 15% fuel increment will with no doubt adversely affect the most vulnerable and majority Zambians, especially the low-income citizens who are already grappling with high cost of essential commodities such as MEALIE-MEAL and cooking oil, and also increased transport cost from one point to the other. CCZ calls for urgent interventions, calls for urgent interventions to be made in this regard to help cushion the lives of the most vulnerable Zambians by providing guidance and policy directions that will that will result into manageable cost of living. Government must realize that when supply prices are reduced, most business entities usually maintain the same prices, thus disadvantaging the poor who continuously suffer the price hikes. What is meant by this is, for example, when there's an increment in fuel, quickly adjustments will be done. But when there's a reduction, there's dragging of feet. And so the benefit does not really trickle down to the people when those decreases are effected. It is a considered view that the monthly fuel pricing reviews be replaced with longer-term reviews. This will help the business community plan and manage prices as opposed to monthly reviews, which makes planning very awkward.
The Lusaka High Court has adjourned judgment in a matter in which former Community Development Minister Emerin Kabanshi appealed her 3-year conviction. The court was set to deliver judgment this afternoon at 14:30 hours. However, it only informed the parties involved around 17:30 that it was not ready to deliver the judgment in the matter. This is in a case in which Ms. Kabanshi challenged her conviction in a case she was found guilty of failing to comply with the law and applicable procedure. In her 3 grounds of appeal, Kabanshi said Lusaka Judge Lamek Mwale, who was then Lusaka Chief Resident Magistrate, erred in law and fact when he found that her office was tasked with the management and administration of the Ministry of Community Development and Social Services. She argues the trial court erred in law and fact when it found her guilty on both counts against the weight of evidence on record. Kabanshi also states that Judge Mwale erred in law and fact when he found that she willfully failed to comply with the law and applicable procedure relating to procurement by extending the scope of coverage between ZAMPOS and the ministry to include 3 provinces and 2 districts of the Copperbelt province on the social cash transfer program and re-engaging ZAMPOS as the payment service provider for the social cash transfer program after the contract was terminated. Socialist Party leader Fred Membe has failed to take plea in a matter where he is accused of communicating certain information. The Director of Public Prosecutions, DPP, has not consented to the prosecution of the accused. When the matter came up for explanation of the charge Friday, State Prosecutor Michael Nundwe informed Lusaka Magistrate Irene Wishimanga that they had not yet received instruction from the DPP to have the matter prosecuted. Allegations in the matter are that Dr. Membe, on the 21st of July 2023, without authority, published the appointment of Friday Nyambe as chairperson of the Central Joint Operations Committee, which information relates to the defense or security of Zambia. The matter has been adjourned to the 25th of September 2023. Meanwhile, speaking shortly after his court appearance, Dr. Membe has urged the United Party for National Development, UPND, to address the high cost of living instead of wasting time in prosecuting opposition leaders.
What should be on trial in Zambia today is the high cost of living. We have a statement from the Christian Council of Churches calling on the government to deal with the matter of the cost of living. High meal prices, high cooking oil prices, the prices of radish, also carpenter, beans and so on have gone up. It's difficult for most of our people to feed their families today. The stress is high. Good leaders should feel the pain, the suffering of their people. And this is the matter that should be on trial, not wasting matters, wasting time on trivial issues. The issues they are taking us to court are trivial. What is important is the living conditions of our people. Let them address this issue. I'm not the only one calling for that. Our religious leaders are calling for that. They are saying it's an urgent matter that this government must address. and they must address it as urgent as possible. Thank you very much.
Mr. President, they have cancelled the tender for the supply of fertilizer, and we're heading into the rain season. What do you make of that, and how it affects the farmers?
Already we have got high prices of milk. If they are playing around with the inputs for agriculture, it will mean the problem will be carried forward to next year again and the following year. Fuel has gone up. They promised Zambian people fuel will be about 12 kwacha fongwe when they come into power. Today the prices of petrol are almost 30 kwacha. This is another matter that they need to attend to urgently, not wasting time on me.
President Hakainde Hichilema has assured the Zambian people that his administration has devised mechanisms that will ensure an increase in maize production. President Hichilema, who spoke when he opened the third session of the 13th National Assembly in Lusaka Friday, says the increase in maize production is what will lower the cost of MEALIE-MEAL, which he says his administration is equally concerned that the commodity has become expensive for the Zambian people. Meanwhile, the head of state says his administration will continue to fight corruption regardless of who is involved.
The UPND, 2 years in office, confirms to us that development, as we knew, is not a straightforward journey.
Zambia's President Hakainde Hichilema has officially opened the third session of the 13th National Assembly under the theme Building on the Socio-Economic Gains for Improved Livelihood and a Better Zambia. The President, in his message, has assured the Zambian people that his administration has devised mechanisms that will ensure that the country produces more maize, as this is the only way to address the high cost of MEALIE-MEAL.
Madam Speaker, in order to stimulate production of our staple food, maize, to address the supply challenges as we have stated above, we are putting in place the following measures, Madam Speaker. I'm sure you are interested to know. Number one, starting from the current marketing season, we have increased the purchase price of maize to 280 kwacha from 180 kwacha per 50 kg bag to stimulate production. Establishing a credit window to support small-scale and large-scale farmers in the public sector. 3, we are encouraging early maize production from commercial and other farmers by guaranteeing a ready market.
The President has also assured the Zambian people that his administration will soon be making another announcement in the mining sector following the announcement that Konkola Copper Mines has been given back to Vendetta Resources Limited, who have pledged a huge investment in the mine.
We want to reassure our citizens that government is working hard to resolve all the outstanding issues at all the mines, including Mopani Copper Mines. And I can say without hesitation that this good news will be followed by another, not long from today, and another, I'm aware, and I'm very confident about it.
Corruption is another aspect that the President has spoken of and says he does not care if his administration will be used to end corruption in the country.
There should be no sympathy for the corrupt in our society. There should be no walkouts for the corrupt. There should be no sacred cows for the corrupt. We have to secure our country's future. And if we are to be the sacrificial team to reverse the trends of corruption, so be it. So be it.
Meanwhile, the recruitment of 4,500 teachers as announced in the 2023 national budget still remains, which the President says will commence before the end of this year. And the President has also assured that more roads will be constructed without having to stress the national coffers, among other promises.
Government will this year again recruit 4,500 teachers.
Prudence Chota, reporting for Camnet TV News.
Meanwhile, President Hakainde Hichilema says government will soon implement improved salaries for councillors as they are at the center of the decentralization policy. The head of state says his administration is aware of the amount of work that councillors do and says they need to be motivated by being paid well. Lusaka's Kalikiliki Ward 35 Councillor Shadrach Mwanza says the increase of salaries for councillors will curtail reports of corruption as the civic leaders who have enough money to carry out their duties and sustain themselves. More in this report.
The United Party for National Development, UPND-led administration, has anchored its development agenda on decentralization. In its first year in government, the UPND-led administration embarked on the crusade to increase the Constituency Development Fund, CDF, which now stands at 28.3 million kwacha from the initial 1.6 million kwacha. This year in May, government further launched the National Decentralization Policy to provide for smooth transfer of functions from central government to local authorities countrywide. However, low salaries for councillors, who are the major stakeholders in running councils, have been a source of concern, bringing decentralization implementation under threat. Speaking when he opened the third session of the 13th National Assembly, President HICHILEMA says government will soon improve conditions of service for councillors. Reacting to the head of state commitment to improve conditions of service for councillors, Lusaka's Kalikiliki Ward 35 Councillor Shadrach Mwanza says the need to increase salaries for councillors is long overdue.
Funerals, people are coming to ask for MEALIE-MEAL from us. They are coming for, for rentals. There are so many things that I cannot just mention now. But all the problems that in the compound, they come direct to my office. They come direct to my house. So we are facing a lot of challenges as councillors. I think I even reached an extent to say that councillors were a project which was abandoned.
Speaking in an interview with Camnet News, Mr. Mwanza says once conditions of service for councillors are improved, reports of corrupt practices among the civic leaders will be curtailed.
Empowering, you can't empower an office with a lot of money and the office bearer is earning nothing. This is why you hear, no, my councillors ill and gulisa nyumba uko, my councillors balicha. Why? Because councillors are in a fixed position. 3,000 is just something, even before it reaches in my account, it has already disappeared. So what other means? Councillors, the constitution says we are under part-time job. Okay, but we have seen a situation whereby on the ground it's 24-hour service.
For Camnet News, Hafias Kaptula, Lusaka.
The National Action for Quality Education in Zambia, NAKEZ, has advised government to formulate a strategic literacy education policy that addresses the high levels of illiteracy in the country. Organization Executive Director Aaron Chansa discloses to Camnet News that about 3 million people in Zambia, especially females, are unable to read or write, a situation he says hampers the tenets of sustainable development. Mr. Chansa adds that among other strategies, government should strive to construct libraries in primary and secondary schools in order to cushion the illiteracy gap that exists. He was speaking on the observation of the International Literacy Day, whose theme is promoting literacy for a world in transition, building the foundation for just and peaceful societies. Here's a report.
According to the United Nations Sustainable Goal No. 4 on education, its target includes action aiming at ensuring that by 2030, all young people and adults across the world achieve relevant and recognized expertise levels in functional literacy and skills that are equivalent to levels achieved at successful completion of basic education. About 244 million children and young people between the ages of 6 and 18 years are illiterate due to various reasons. In observing International Literacy Day under the theme Promoting Literacy for a World in Transition, Building the Foundation for Just and Peaceful Societies, National Action for Quality Education in Zambia, NAKEZ, has called for the formulation of a strategic plan that addresses illiteracy in the country. NAKEZ Executive Director Aaron Chansa is saddened that Zambia's adult literacy rate stands at 63%, culminating in about 3 million people, with illiteracy much more pronounced in females than males. He says this situation should be treated as a national crisis.
This means that about 3 million adults in Zambia are not able to read and write. This is a huge blow to sustainable development and should be treated by all of us as a national crisis. For learners in schools, especially those in public and community schools, a lot of them are not able to read and write because of a severe lack of access to supplementary reading materials, acute lack of libraries, unreliable literacy policies, and obviously overcrowding in our classes. Some of these learners even progress to secondary schools without knowing how to read and write. This is an affront to quality education in our country and a serious threat to national development.
Mr. Chansa observes that while 2030 draws near, learners in schools, especially in public and community schools, are still unable to read and write due to lack of access to additional reading materials, lack of libraries, unreliable literacy policies, and overcrowding in classes. He proposes that Zambia formulate a literacy policy that addresses illiteracy levels among adults and children.
We urge the government to do the following. Number one, government must formulate a policy on adult education. This policy will guide the Ministry of Education on how to provide and monitor adult literacy programs in the country. Government must be able to establish well-structured adult literacy centers to benefit all citizens in this country who are currently literate. Number three, government must train and employ more adult literate teachers in order for them to effectively teach and reduce the illiteracy in our country. Number four, government must come up with a stable and reliable literacy curriculum to avoid experimenting on literacy programs. The next one is that government must increase funding to adult literacy to at least 3% of the total budget to education.
Now Sunzulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
This is Camnet Television Main News. Join us for more news after this short break.
From time immemorial, we have had different types of lighting options, from those that can burn down our investments in minutes to those that dig holes in our pockets due to constant replacement and huge consumption of our ZESCO units. Savenda Electric introduces the new and advanced electric bulb with cutting-edge technology of LED that has low power consumption, gives out bright white light, and lasts up to 25,000 hours. Savenda Electric manufactures all types of LED light, like plastic LED fluorescent tubes, down lights, ceiling lights, outdoor fittings, and solar street lights made to customer specifications. Let's live on the bright side of life by choosing the wide range of Savenda electric lighting solutions that are available in all leading stores and supermarkets countrywide. For orders, call 0962-642-490 or email jnbunda@savenda.com or pchabula@savenda.com.
Deborah, have you connected to the Wi-Fi on the bus? It's fast, it's amazing. I've just downloaded my books and I'm about to complete the series. It's nice, chew me.
No, I'm actually watching a reality show. He's about to propose. Oh, so sweet.
Make your trip seem short yet comfortable and safe when you use the UBZ luxurious fully air-conditioned coaches that come fitted with amazing onboard entertainment, passenger information services, coffee-making facilities and fridge for your hot and cold beverages, free and interrupted Wi-Fi for your gadgets, phone charging facilities, comfortable seats that recline to offer extra resting posture, safety seat belts, adjustable reading lights for each traveling client, and of course, clean flushing toilets for your convenience. So travel in luxury and safety with UBZ luxurious coaches. UBZ will always take you there.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. Renglow, your smart irrigation partner.
Get all the latest updates in court news only on Camnet TV. We take you and make you feel part of the court sessions through our in-depth coverage of the adjudication process. Get informed on those that have been arrested, delayed and denied the police bond or bail victims, persons taking plea, court adjournments, verdicts, and those administration issues in the judiciary. Camnet TV is on channel 274 on DSTV, channel 25 on GoTV, and find us on channel 106 on Topstar. You can also follow and give us a like on our social media platforms. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
Welcome back. We continue with the news. Researcher and expert in conservation agriculture, Dr. Oliver Bulaya, has called on the Ministry of Agriculture to expedite the process of engaging a contractor to distribute fertilizer ahead of the commencement of the 2023 farming season. Dr. Bulaya says the cancellation of the tender to supply urea fertilizer is likely to affect the sector in the forthcoming farming season. The Ministry of Agriculture has so far cancelled 3 tenders to supply urea fertilizer in the build-up to the 2023-2024 farming season. More in this report.
Agriculture has potential to be a major source of Zambia's economic growth given the country's abundant fertile land and good rainfall pattern. Faster agricultural growth is as well considered as being critical in reducing rural poverty. However, the country's agricultural productivity is very low by global standards due to several factors, among them poor policy implementation by those responsible. In the past 2 years, for example, tenders to supply fertilizer have been cancelled at a time when, under normal circumstances, delivery must have been completed. This has arguably contributed to the low harvest in the country, and the case seems to be the same this year, as government has for the 3rd time cancelled a tender to supply urea fertilizer for the 2023-2024 farming season. Researcher and expert in conservation agriculture, Dr. Oliver Bulaya, is calling upon the Minister of Agriculture to expedite the process of sourcing for a new supplier.
The Minister of Agriculture are well versed, with any delays that this issue, can affect in terms of the production of maize. And this is one thing the ministry would love, to risk, bearing in mind that we have a shortfall in terms of the production levels of the commodities.
Dr. Bulaya describes the situation as unfortunate, however is positive that the ministry will bid the time to deliver the inputs on time.
One good thing is that all these inputs are with all these commodities in terms of the top dressing are within the country. And therefore my call is for the Minister of Agriculture to expedite the process to ensure that they iron out any shortfalls so that our farmers are able to get these inputs as early as possible.
Agriculture contributes about 19% to GDP and employs 3/4 of the population, and it is only important that government pays attention to the motivation of farmers who in turn contribute to the country's economic growth. Will government manage to deliver the inputs on time this time around? Only time will tell. Vincent Piri for Camnet TV News, Lusaka.
The Zambia Society of Physiotherapy, ZSP, has called on the general public to embrace physical activities in the quest to fight non-communicable diseases in the country. Society President Dr. Martha Chalwe says physiotherapy plays a crucial role in stimulating and promoting a healthy living, hence the need for Zambians to prioritize health consumption. Speaking during the observation of the World Physiotherapy Day 2023, which focuses on the prevention and management of arthritis, a physiotherapist based at Chainama Hills Hospital, Raphael Nguni, reiterates the need to adopt physiotherapy activities such as exercises to ensure eradication of non-communicable diseases in the country. Here's a report.
Zambia has been recording an increase in illness and death due to non-communicable diseases, NCDs, such as cancer, diabetes and chronic respiratory and cardiovascular diseases. According to the 2016 WHO Non-Communicable Diseases Country Profile, 29% of all deaths in Zambia are attributed to NCDs. Non-communicable diseases, NCDs, kill about 41 million people each year before they reach the age of 70 or less, especially in low and middle income countries, equivalent to 74% of all deaths globally. In a layman's definition, non-communicable diseases are diseases that are not spread through infection or through other people but are typically caused by unhealthy behaviors such as cancer, heart diseases, diabetes, chronic lung illnesses, among others. In order to avert the effects of NCDs in the country, the Zambia Society of Physiotherapy, ZSP, has called on the general public to embrace physical activities in the quest to fight non-communicable diseases in the country. Speaking during the commemoration of the World Physiotherapy Day for 2023, themed Prevention and Management of Arthritis, Society President Dr. Martha Chalwe says physiotherapy should be prioritized in the country.
Physiotherapy is there to improve the joint ranges in your body, improve muscle power, muscle tone, so that you are able to function properly. So physiotherapy is a profession that you can also see in the hospital or within your home. Physiotherapists can come to your home and manage whatever issues you have concerning your health, especially physical health.
A physiotherapist based at Chainama Hills Hospital, Raphael Nguni, echoes the need to adopt physiotherapy activities such as exercising to ensure the eradication of non-communicable diseases in the country at all costs.
People to have the normal BMI maintained through exercise, even also following a good diet, which is avoiding a lot of cooking oil and the other junky foods. Instead of getting a lot of cooking oil, you can roast your meat or your chicken, and then you can as well boil. And we are also encouraging a lot of vegetables. If you can do a lot of vegetables, it can help. And then a lot of exercise as well.
We have seen that now a lot of us have gone to junk foods. So those could be some of the contributing factors that are contributing to the condition. So we are sensitizing the community on the issue of being physically fit and also monitoring our diet.
Nelson Zulu for Camnet News, Lusaka.
The Ministry of Education in Kitwe District is locally rehabilitating and assembling school desks in its quest of ensuring that no child sits on the floor by the end of 2023. Kitwe District Education Board Secretary Christopher Nyungila says Kitwe Boys Secondary School is rehabilitating and assembling desks under Seat the Child program at a cost of 375 kwacha per desk. Mr. Nyungila says the program has enabled the government to save resources by coming up with complete desks at minimal costs. Meanwhile, Ministry of Information and Media Director Spokesperson Tabo Kawana has commended education authorities in the district for working towards actualizing the presidential directive of ensuring that no child sits on the floor and the free education policy.
For us to come up with a complete desk like this one, we're only spending about 375 kwacha. You know that the president is talking about saving. So why should we go and start buying more desks when we have the material that can give us desks? So we are saving. The first thing we are looking at is saving government resources by coming up with a complete desk like this one at only 375 kwacha.
1,200, and to see that we're getting a complete desk at that amount, depth, really is something that is highly commendable. What you are seeing now is that in line with the presidential directive that no child should sit on the floor, and this is actualizing that directive. This is working well with our policy for free education. As you have rightly pointed out, you have more people getting back into school at secondary level than at primary. What that tells you is that then these are young people, the youth group that was earmarked for being junkies, you know, but now they have been given an opportunity by this administration to get their lives back in order by going back to school. These are young people that had lost hope, had lost opportunity because education became a preserve of the elite, of the well-to-do, of the rich.
Minister of Science and Technology Felix Mutati says the development of the Lusaka Internet Exchange Point will help in creating stability and affordability to Internet's access in the city, as it will provide control of Internet traffic. Speaking during the launch of Lusaka Internet Exchange Point by Infratel, Mr. Mutati says having such a system developed within the country positions Zambia as a regional hub in controlling Internet traffic. And Infratel Chief Executive Officer Dr. Evans Silavwe says the launch of the Lusaka Internet Exchange Point will play a pivotal role in advancing businesses. An Internet Exchange Point, or IXP, is a physical location through which Internet infrastructure companies such as Internet service providers connect with each other, which results in cost reduction, latency and bandwidth improvements, increase in routing efficiency and fault tolerance.
Through digital liberation, that what happens outside, if there's a disruption on our fiber connectivity this way, that way, etc., we remain, inside liberated, and we're able to pass the internet traffic. And that's what everybody is looking for. It's simple. It's not very complicated. You are liberating data movement. You are liberating hello. Your hello will not be heard first in London before it comes into Zambia. It will remain localized. Because then it's more taste, isn't it? It's being extracted from the pot where it's being cooked.
This milestone we are celebrating, ladies and gentlemen, would not have been possible without the immense support of the named institutions. It has been proven from several use cases that when the local traffic stays local, internet access is faster and affordable. With our community working sustainably together the way we have started, this is very much achievable. And what we are trying to achieve really is that local content developers, including government, who are hosting their content outside Zambia, should come and host it in Zambia to increase the usability of this IXP. All ISPs in Zambia will also need to connect to the IXP. There is no cost at the moment for connecting to the IXP, because what we are trying to promote is free access and affordability for service providers, which will tend.
We'll take our second and final break. Join us with international sports news after the break.
Water is life. Each drop counts and each must be cherished. Our tried and tested product meets all international standards. With our smart drip technology, we aim to deliver precision irrigation designed to reduce blockage and wastage, ensuring a high yield. RenGlow, your smart irrigation partner.
Every Monday to Thursday afternoon, join us for the Lunchtime Cafe. We get to bring to you emerging stories making the headlines, midday news, and we remind you of what political leaders and governance actors said back in the days. In Forgotten Stories, we emphasize to you the importance of eating healthy foods and leading healthy lifestyles on the Nutrition Corner. Get the latest updates in sports and critical interviews. Because we value your contribution to national matters, we accord you an opportunity to share your perspectives during the viewers' reactions. The Camnet TV Lunchtime Cafe is an all-inclusive buffet. Camnet TV, not just another channel.
And now in international news, Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni has reported that since December 2021, more than 560 members of a rebel group linked to the Islamic State have been killed in Uganda's operations. This rebel group, known as the Allied Democratic Forces ADF, is based in the jungles of the neighboring Democratic Republic of Congo. They have been launching attacks in both Congo and Uganda. With the permission of the Congo government, Uganda's military launched operations against the ADF to destroy their camps and capture or eliminate their fighters. President Museveni recently stated that they have successfully killed 567 ADF fighters and captured 50 more. They have also seized 167 pieces of equipment from the rebels, including submachine guns and rocket-propelled grenades. Here's a roundup of international news for more.
Uganda's President Yoweri Museveni said Thursday that army operations inside the Democratic Republic of Congo had significantly degraded the capacity of allied Democratic Forces rebels to launch attacks into Uganda. In a speech broadcast on national television, Museveni said that more than 560 members of the rebel group had been killed since late 2021. With the permission of the Congolese government, Uganda's military launched operations against the ADF to destroy their camps and capture or eliminate their fighters. The deployment followed a string of bomb attacks in Kampala that killed several people. In June, the rebels who have claimed affiliation with Islamic State were blamed for the killing of 42 people, mostly students at a secondary school in western Uganda.
In war-torn northwest Syria, government forces have escalated their attacks on residential areas, leaving a trail of destruction and displacing thousands of people. Abu Muhammad, like many others, had to leave his village during the intense bombing. However, he says he will always return because this is home.
We were displaced many times, and now we are living in bombed-out houses because we can't bear to live anywhere else. They destroyed the main hospital, the mosque, and hundreds of houses. Whenever we rebuild, we are confronted by bombings.
For families here, living under attack has become part of life. Abu Abdullah has built an underground shelter for his family.
I built this shelter for my family so we don't have to be displaced again. The past couple of days were scary. More than 40 missiles fell in the area. Life is getting harder.
This is one of the areas in southern Idlib that has come under repeated attack this week. Jabal al-Zawiya is made up of dozens of villages, and authorities here say they have been targeted by airstrikes, resulting in many casualties. The attacks have also damaged facilities, including medical centers. Despite the challenges they face, many people in northwest Syria are trying not to give up. They have survived 12 years of conflict. However, as the horrors of war continue to mount, they have few choices: leave their homes or stay and risk being killed.
In our sports news tonight, the CHIPOLOPOLO boys have arrived in Moroni ahead of Saturday's Group H Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against COMOROS. Football Association of Zambia, FAZ, has reported that coach Avram Grant's lads arrived at 15:30 hours local time aboard a chartered Air Seychelles flight and proceeded to their base at the Golden Tulip. The team is expected to have a feel of the Maluzini Stadium at 21 hours on Friday. Already qualified, Zambia is on 12 points, 2 points better than Ivory Coast, who have also confirmed their ticket to the AFCON as hosts. The CHIPOLOPOLO won the first leg 2-1 at National Hero Stadium and are looking to finish the campaign strongly. To end Camnet Television News, the headlines once again. Social cash transfer beneficiaries in CHAWAMA compound go unpaid for 4 months. Council of Churches in Zambia challenges government to review the monthly fuel price adjustments. President HICHILEMA promises to address the escalated MEALIE-MEAL prices. In international news, Uganda says its operations in DR Congo have killed 567 Islamist allied fighters. And in sports news, CHIPOLOPOLO arrives in Moroni ahead of Saturday's Group H Cup, Africa Cup of Nations qualifier against Comoros. Our Camnet verse of the day is coming from the book of 1 Kings, verse 2 to 3. And observe what the Lord your God requires. Walk in obedience to him and keep his decrees and commands, his laws and regulations, as written in the law of Moses. Do this so that you may prosper in all you do and wherever you go. Thank you for watching Camnet Television News. I'm Jeffrey Ziambo. Bye-bye.